Hello everyone, so welcome back, and in this video we are going to look into forms in HTML. So in the last video we pretty much looked around what are block level and inline elements. In this video we are going to look into forms. Whenever you visit any of the website that take input from the user like login or sign up or any form page, right? You give inputs to the page and that input is transferred to some backend where the processing happens, right? So we are going to look at how that form actually works. So let me go and create a new folder that will be our seventh tutorial that are forms. So let me close this and open a new file in forms. HTML, enter. Use the VS Code to create forms. Okay. Now we have in the body. So we talked about div as well, right? So div are independent containers to create a block level element. So inside that div you can put up pretty much everything, a paragraph, a heading, a form also. So what we'll be doing is we'll be creating a form, and inside a form we'll be creating various divs. So suppose I have a form. So in HTML, form is created using form tag. So once we have this form, so we will getting an action tag, right? So this action tag determines what happens when you click submit on the form. We generally have a submit button to submit the data. So this will define what generally will happen, right? So suppose you have a script or anything, a PHP file. Suppose you have a login.php if you're working with PHP or anything, right? You can also have like routes, like, you can log in. So this happens when the submit is clicked. So there are also something known as method. So there are various method like get, post, and delete and various other method, but here we can put up get or post. So as we are creating some sensitive data information, we'll be putting a post. So what happens when you put post is when you click submit, it doesn't comes up on the URL, the values, but when you put a get here, the value that you have inserted in the form comes up in the URL. So it good to post things like. So let me click and open with the live server. We have these are forms. So once we have this outer elements of form, there are various things that we can create inside a form. The first one is label. So label is a element that is that gives some intuitive idea about the input. So suppose we are creating a login page or a sign up page. So let's say label for I'll be putting name here. So inside this label you can put anything like name. Once I hit save, you can see the names come here. We'll be looking what this for, like, and next thing is input. So in the input tag, you get an input like this. So once you create an input, it is a self-closing tag, you can see. So the type here can take pretty much everything that is required, right? So it can take text, it can take password, it can take date as well, right? Once I hit save, you can see you can select date. So it works something like it. But we want our name to be a text. So I'll be putting up text, right? Once I hit save, you can see this particular thing is inline, so it's coming side by side. But we don't want that. We want that like this all comes, with independent div. So let's put this into a div. So I'll be putting this into a div. Hit save and remember it doesn't change, right? So why it is happening? So because this is a block level element, but this whole is inside a block level element and they are inline. So they are displayed inline. Although it is taking whole space, but they are inline. So there is a special tag known as br tag in HTML. So this br tag is known as per break. Hit save. This is a break to a new line, right? So this is a HTML related tag. So once I hit save with the break tag, it's come to a new line. So this looks good, right? So now we'll be putting some more attributes inside the input. The first one is name. So this name is determine what the data will be in the backend. So this field usually needs to be same in the backend. So once you get some insight from the backend developer or someone else, you will be understand what this name for. So this is generally for backend purposes, right? So let's add up one more thing, that is ID. ID equal to name. So once you put up a ID, this for will get activated. So we are putting into this div, so the element are related. So once we click on this name, it will direct you to this particular input. Again, I'll click and it directed to particular input. So this for is when you click on this, it directed to the input element. So this for is used for that, right? And this ID needs to be matched with this for, right? So we have created a independent block where there are two inline element where we can put up our name, right? So let's move forward and add more div. So I'll copy and paste it, and this time I'll be putting up it for email. I'll putting up for email, and the text type will be email. There are various plethoras of type you can search from. Okay, you can always go and search for. So for it will be ID will be email and name will be email. So this particular name is used by backend, but for best practices we are putting right now. So once I click on email, it will direct me to this input. This is with the help of for. Okay, so good thing to see here, like when I type this, it type as a text. When I type this, it type as a text. But the main thing is when I hit save, right? When you hit save, it will show an error if there will be no matching with the email ID. That is, if it only put some random text out here, it will show an error when you hit save. That's why we have put this email. We'll see how it works. Next thing, let us put up a description for your suppose about me. So this for is this for about me. This will be used in backend, and type will be let's say we have text. Save it about me. So we are creating some kind of social platform, suppose. So if I hit it is take, it's working fine. But about me is generally something that is not confined, right? We know that email ID will be something around 30 or 40 characters or 50 characters, but about me, like any user can write anything, right? So what I'll be doing is I'll be converting this input to a text area, where text area is a new kind of element in HTML. So when you hit text area, it will show column and row. When you increase column, the size will grow in the horizontal direction, right? And when I increase row, it will grow in vertical direction. This is how it works. So name is about me and ID is about me. So when I hit save, you can see there is a option of growing this, right? So you can grow this and type your things out here. Hello, this is text area, right? Looks great, right? So this is for about me, right? So let's go further and add more elements to our HTML page. So next thing we are gonna add is a gender, right? So for gender, we'll be not using the label or input. We'll be using another kind of HTML, that is select. So these form elements can be found on W3 schools or MDN to look for. Generally, you don't need to remember them all, but you can always go and refer them and use it as you require them, right? So this is a div element, a new div element. So we'll be adding a label. So label is something, you know, that is for, again, label we have used here. So suppose this is for gender, and I'll be putting up put a gender. Okay. So what I'll doing is, I have a gender. I will not give a text area or input. I'll be giving up a new kind of thing, that is option. Like I'll give various option, male, female, or other, with the method of select. So there is a element that is known as select, and you can put up various options inside the list select. This is select, hit save, you can get a select, but you don't have any option right now, right? So I have a name and ID. I'll copy this gender. Name is for backend users, remember, and ID is for this for. So once I click on this, it will direct me to this, right? So inside this select, there can be various options. So option, you need to provide a value. So this value is used by the backend, right? So I'll provide male, I'll provide female, right? Value will be female. Suppose user select this female option, then the value will be passed is female. If you select male, the value will be passed with male with small m, whatever you put inside value. The next one I'll be giving is others. Hit save, and you can see here are various values we are getting. You can select any one of them. So this way you can put up a form, right? Let's move on and see more of, elements of form. So let's move forward and see more element. So till then I realized that we have missed something that is required for social platform, that is a password. So I'll just copy this and we'll be giving this as password. Copy this, put up a name on password, an ID on password, and type will be password. There's a type of password. So, if you type password on the input, like, once I type, it will be not visible. See, nice, right? So once I click on this, it will be visible. Then I click on this, it will not visible. So it works something like this. So I've created a new field that is password. So next thing is like, in a general social network site, people ask for age or birth date, right? So let's have that too. So I'll be adding what's your age right now, and type will be a number. So number is a type where you can put only, numbers, right? So let me give it for age and age, save it, and you can see number. So you can click on the arrow to increase. You can also put up a number. Once I type in any text, it doesn't go. I'm typing the text right now, but it doesn't go. It will only take numbers. You can restrict, right? So next thing, let us create as a birth date. Birth date. So this will be help us to create, notification for birth. Copy this, copy this, paste here, right? And type will be of date and time as well, but we'll be using date. So once I hit save, you can see birth date, and you can select actually a thing from here. You can see, right? You can select actually a date from here. Suppose I select any of the date, you can go to year, you can go to any of the date and select, right? So this is pretty much great thing. So we have come along a long path, so we have various things. These are text area, date, number area, password area, email area, name, and gender. So only thing we are missing is a button to save this detail, right? And also you can have a check mark button. You can check it out on the internet. There is a check mark checkbox where you can put up to agree terms and conditions that generally website have, right? So last thing we'll be putting up is a button to submit. So button is given with the button tab. So once I hit button, you can see a button tabs comes in with a starting and ending tag. So I'll write here submit. Okay, so it will have a type of submit. You can see there are various types. So submit, save it, get a button of submit, click on this, nothing happens, but it goes to a login route, right? So you can see what we have put up is coming out here. So this is how things work. Suppose I put an email ID, wrong email ID, and hit save, right? See, please encode at the rate email ID. So it doesn't matches with an email ID, so it gives a warning. This is how things happens in the real world. So suppose I put another button with a type of reset. So although the form looks ugly, we can always style with the CSS. But suppose you're typing something, you have typed something, click on reset and see everything goes up. So this is how submit and reset works, right? So you can explore other types as well of the button. So right now everything is fair and intact, and we have a form of this, right? But we have a thing called placeholder. Suppose I want to display something inside it, so user have some notion. So suppose I display our zondo.example.com, hit save, and you can see you can type your own email address, but the suggestion you are getting is for zondo, right? Similarly, you can placeholder here as zondo. You can see it just you know suggestion for you. It is called as placeholder. So nice. We have a great form, and this is how the form works. You can put up a post method and actions with the submit and reset button. So you can have various options, try out, check on the internet for various and explore many various features of HTML forms. And that's it for this video. If you are new here, consider subscribing. I bring latest tech and informational videos on this channel and to follow along in this HTML series. Thank you.